Assalamualaikum. I am Alashan Mina binti Amazin and I will be presenting for the summary of the article. So, the article was a research about the semantic change of three English words which are hijab, halal, and Islamic to Islamist to English. Although Islamic terms are deeply rooted in Arabic, from which they originated, they are widely used by Muslims from various linguistic and cultural backgrounds, including Malay, Indian, Pakistani, and Westerners. Uh, Many Muslims prefer English as a medium of communication and over others. The origins of Islamic terms can be traced back to Arabic. The English dictionaries that are adopted for this study are online Collins English Dictionary and Oxford's Learner's Dictionary. They are regarded as the best dictionaries used by both native and non-native English speakers. Because of the goal of this study is to investigate the semantic changes to Islamic terms in English dictionaries and language in use, two important aspects of word meanings are used, namely denotative and connotative meanings in both English and in both English language and Arabic language. The first stage of the experiment is to search for Arabic and English dictionaries for definitions of the three words hijab, halal, and Islamist in denotative meanings. The Arabic meanings were translated into the closest English synonyms. For Oxford's Learner Dictionary, they deemed the hijab as the law of wearing the hijab, while Collins English Dictionary defines the hijab solely as a face cover. The two Western dictionaries have successfully captured the Islamic essence of the word. So, but however, for the word Islamist, both Western dictionaries view it as it has a correlation with extremism and terrorism, which is pretty stereotypical in the Western world. So for halal, for both of the Western dictionaries narrow their definition to food laws only when in the definition in the Arabic dictionary is the researchers found that the word halal is literally means permissible in general. Okay, so the research found out, and so the results of the research found out that the more loan words are being narrowed down, the more generalized and stereotyped the loan word will be. So that's all from me. Thank you.
My metric number is 1835392, and I will present about the problem statement of this research. And to begin, the usage of some Islamic terms is wide in many cultures, especially in the English context, since English is an international language that everybody uses to communicate easier. And obviously, many Islamic terms are borrowed into English for daily communication or any types of communications because nothing could explain the complex meaning as well as the culture behind those terms better than themselves. However, in other words, the meaning of words may also differ from one community to another and from culture to another culture because speakers have different perspective on looking at things. Even among the speakers of the same culture, a lexical item may have a different connotation. And let's go straight to the point. The concern of this study is to investigate the semantic change in the three widely used terms from the Islamic culture: hijab, halal, and Islamist in English. The study begins by looking at the meaning of these three terms in English dictionaries, then comparing them with the meaning in Arabic dictionaries. And meanwhile, the study will also investigate the communicative context of these three terms in Arab. And the selected terms halal and hijab are highly frequent in everyday English. Meanwhile, Islamist is also one of the most frequent terms that is anglicized by adding ist suffix and occurs mostly in news or reports and articles on Islam and Middle Eastern cultures. And it is recommended by Hassan to use transliteration strategy for culture specific terms and partially equivalent words that have the same reference but different connotations in the two languages. He claimed that transliteration has the advantage of protecting culture specific terms. Unfortunately, the transliteration strategy does not guarantee that these Islamic terms will keep their original meanings without being distorted due to some external factors such as people feelings and attitude towards a term can be influenced by language in use such as in social and news media. And yeah, moreover, um, according to Al-Faruqi and Ali, they indicated for areas of distortion, which are misspelling, mispronunciation, inaccurate translation, and semantic distortion, which shows that some semantic associations and religious connotations have lost when Islamic terms borrow into English. Nonetheless, some studies indicated that Islamic terms entries in English dictionary have some distortion. Um, as a study conducted which shown that the objective and accurate material about cultural terms borrowed from other languages are not always provided in English dictionaries. And a number of issues have been indicated why the entries of 8 Islamic terms in English dictionaries have been examined, including circularity, insufficient information, negative context, very general definition, ambiguity, incomplete information, narrow definition, and encyclopedic redundancy, according to Al-Ajmi and Al-Abtabi 2006. For example, the word halal has been found to collocate mostly with food in most dictionaries, causing lack of cohesive understanding of the term from an Islamic point of view. And since dictionaries are considered necessary in the translation task and as a documented guide for speakers of a given language, it is important to review their Islamic terminology entries in an effort to raise knowledge of different cultures and help promote successful intercultural communication.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nabiatul Huda binti Muhammad Saleh, 2019-098. Will be presenting Research Gap. As Islam has been spread worldwide, the number of Muslims increases day by day, which contributes to the rise of borrowed Arabic terms into English. Almost all of them use English as either a foreign or second language. Thus, many Arabic religious terms are used in their communication. There are a lot of studies have been conducted on culture-specific items in various scopes, like nature, models, and classification, but still, they only focused on the context of translation of literary works from and into English. The researchers referred to Ali's article in 2007 and 2009, where he defined these Arabic religious terms, halal and hijab, by referring to Islamic and Muslim contexts. Additionally, he added examples of the use of them in the most regular Islamic terms and concepts used in English. However, there is no definition or sample provided for the term Islamist, as it is one of the linguistic innovations by putting English suffixes.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haifa Farzana and I'm from Group 3. So today I will be talking about the significance in this article review. The research that we're doing is about the semantic change of hijab, halal, and Islamist from Arabic to English. So the significance from this research, basically what they're trying to see is that the Islamic terms, when translated in English, when not just in context of translating in Quran or Hadith, like in an everyday use, it was not semantically, it was not being properly researched or being properly cross-checked whether it's correct, because the English have a different connotations and association, including the denotations. Like the terms is like in Arab, the word hijab, halal, Islamist means differently in English context. So they need to make sure that the terms in native language, when translated in English, are correctly translated, are semantically correct. So why this is also important, because the English are becoming a widely used language, and of course they will start using the loan words from these Islamic terms. In a way, the culture, in a way, it is sort of the culture of these Islamic terms, or the culture in context are from the Arabic settings, are slowly being shared globally. So we want to make sure that they want to make, the researchers want to make sure that even through cultural exchange, the terms, the original semantic terms of it were not are not missing, you know, are not you know make sure that the terms matched, regardless it's in English or in its Arabic. So that's why they're trying to make sure why it's important.
So about the research question part, and what is a research question? A research question is a question that a study or a research project aims to answer. This question often addresses an issue or problem, which through analysis and interpretation of data is answered in the study conclusion. And in this study, the researcher also stated clearly in his work that there are a total of three research questions, and they are, the first one is what are the similarities and differences in the definition of Islamic terms between English and Arabic dictionaries. The second one is what are the semantic changes that occur to Islamic terms as loanwords in English dictionaries. And the last one is what are the connotations associated to them, which may not be included in the dictionaries. And it's really important to have a research question because like it will affect the further further findings such as like methodologies, data collections, and data analysis. And the primary importance of the research question is that it narrows down a broad topic of interest into a specific area of study, and a research question, along with hypotheses, also serve as a guiding framework for research. And yeah, that's all for this part.
So now we are going to proceed with the methodology, which is the procedures obtaining the findings. What they did was, it's a qualitative method. So they are the terms that they're looking for was hijab, halal, and Islamist. So using those three terms, they are referring to English dictionary, Arabic dictionary, and also in IWAC corpus. So in English dictionary, they use two dictionary, which is the Collins English Dictionary and Oxford Learners Dictionary. So they're using this dictionary to see what commonly what these Islamic terms, these terms are commonly translated as, or are commonly explained as. And Arabic dictionary, on the other hand, is to know what are these terms are really are in its native language. What is it exactly? And then they make a comparison between the English dictionary and Arabic dictionary, and also in the IWeb corpus. So the IWeb corpus, they use it because the corpus contains they also contain a lot of information regarding that word in terms of the syntactic, the morphological, and the lexical, and the semantic variation of that terms. So IWeb corpus is used in the linguistic aspect of what exactly the terms are actually being translated in the English setting. So once they made a comparison between the English dictionary, the Arabic dictionary, and IWeb corpus, so then they can finally see what these terms exactly mean, what hijab, halal, and Islamist are meant in English settings, linguistically and semantically, and elsewhere, as well as like in a normal setting. How does it look like and how it was actually applied in the English language? Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, I am Dia Kisina and we are going to look at the results and conclusion of this paper. So the results of this article has shown so many outcomes of the research. Therefore, let's go through the results of this paper. Okay, what has been found? So the first one that has been found was the definitions of the three common Islamic phrases, hijab, halal, and Islamist, have changed semantically in terms of limitation, context extension, and pejoration. Meaning the word has lost its original quality and was diluted. And for the second one, in English, most of the Islamic terminologies kept the Arabic meaning. Despite the decreasement of the quality of the original words, they expanded in order to fit in many other bordered contexts in different settings. But it still remains unclear as to why they are pejorated. And the researchers thought that it might be the result of changes regarding to the utilization of the Islamic words among all Muslims throughout the world in order to fit the understanding of Islam in different settings or cultures or countries, especially when it comes to the word Islamist. Yet they were unable to continue the research on this specific result. Therefore, that part remains unclear. So the third one is one of the things that the researchers also found, that the use of language for communication has such a huge impact on loan words. And loan words is basically another fancy term of borrowed words. And basically the ongoing theme or issue in these results are the distortion of the quality and the change of the meaning of the terms. Basically, what they wanted to say is that these terms can differ in impact and when it is used in different languages. Even though the qualitative meanings on paper are not that impactful, this research further proves that it can go beyond that. For example, they've highlighted how the term Islamist has a negative connotative flair to it, while hijab and halal are diluted into just normal jargon for fashion clothing and the halal industry basically. And the fourth one is the result also remain inconsistent and unclear when it comes to defining the terms in English dictionaries. They said that the representation of Islamic culture is very vague and enables inaccurate interpretation of the terms. Therefore, future researchers can continue studying about this specific finding related to the meaning of Islamic terms accurately, as well as Islamic culture-based terms, to justify the semantic change that is currently lacking in the research, of course. And lastly, therefore, the results actually remain clear in some aspects for figuring out the impact of the terms. Yet, they encourage future researchers to dive into this topic even further, even deeper, to see this topic in a bigger picture, since the actual quantitative meaning still remain distorted. Thus, future research and justification needs to be made. And that's all from our group. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.